They call me Dan, the Lakers fan. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equal. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jet.
What up, Laker family? It's your boy Dtlf back with another live stream, man. We got the latest news and rumors. How you guys doing today, man? Good to see y'all. Been a couple of days. Went to Disneyland, took a couple of days off, just chilling, man. But I'm back, ready to talk some Laker basketball, my Laker family, some NBA news, etc., etc. But good to see y'all, man. How y'all been? How y'all been, chat? How y'all been, Laker family? What's up, Craig? Mixtape King, what's up, brother? By the way, I will be gaming over on Playback TV today for the first time officially over there on that channel at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So if you guys are interested, definitely tap in. If some of you guys want to add me and play alongside with me, I'll probably play some Gears and some other games alongside my girl. So that'll be fun. Go tap in over there on that side on Playback. It's pinned to the top of the chat. So appreciate you guys. And yeah, so let's get right into the official news of the Lakers today. Well, it happened 2 days ago. The Lakers forward Christian Wood has exercised his $3 million player option for the 2024-2025 season. So he has opted back in. I'm very happy about that because even though he only appeared in 50 games for Lakers, he averaged 6.9 points, 5 rebounds, and only 17 minutes. So I'm curious to see, and we're going to talk about coaching candidates right now. I'm curious to see who the Lakers hire and how he will cater towards the size that's going to stay on the roster. So we know for sure we have AD. We know we have for sure Christian Wood. Who else are we going to get, and how are we going to utilize these players, right? So I think Christian Wood is capable of doing so much more than what he showed this season. Again, Darvin Scam was on one, man. He didn't play a lot of bigs, at least not together. So that was very disappointing as far as that goes. By the way, yesterday, Jokic won MVP, and I'm still not happy about it. What do you guys think of that? Who do you guys think deserved it, chat? I will be reading off some comments right now in a little bit. Why do you guys think the NBA is such a popularity contest when it comes to the MVP award? Because it used to mean something. Now it feels a little diluted. And it bothers me, to be honest, if I'm quite frank. It bothers me how diluted that award has become. Okay, 3 times. You're telling me that Jokic has been the most valuable player in this league more times, 3 times more, 2 times more than Kobe Bryant. Because that right there just pisses me off. Ain't no way Jokic is even a smidgen of the player Kobe was. And why the heck does he deserve 3 MVPs? Is it because the league is this watered down now? I don't know. I got a lot of questions about that, guys. I think he's being exposed right now in this in the Timberwolves series. Like I predicted, the Timberwolves will win in 6 or 7. It's looking better than that. So, again, a long way to go. But am I on PS5? Yes, I got PS5. I got Xbox Series X. I got everything, bro. I even got some Super Nintendo games I will be gaming over there on the daily. Today's the start of that. So I have more free time as teams get eliminated from basketball, less coverage. So I will transition to other entertainment facets. Late night will be back as well on this channel. Around the League hasn't gone anywhere. I took a week off this week because I was tired, but next week Around the League comes back stronger than ever. I mean, so much content. So make sure you follow me on all platforms. You see all my stuff down low as well. If you guys want to show love, or if you guys just want to subscribe or follow or anything, feel free to do so. He said, and my defensive player of the year, I'm so pissed. AD should have got it hands down. I agree, JJ. Not only AD, but I also feel like the rookie of the year should have been the defensive player of the year, right? If we're talking about Wemby, he averaged more blocks. I know they didn't get as many wins, but if we want to talk about wins, Gilgeous-Alexander should have been an MVP over Jokic. He had more wins, and he's a younger team, and they actually are the first seed in the West. So, and they're showing out too. They won the first game of the second round. That team is no joke, right? He said Shaq told Jokic he didn't deserve it, and he felt shaded. Yeah, I seen that. And Shaq also caught a lot of flack for being honest, which is ridiculous. I guess they prefer people who talk behind people's backs than people that tell people straight up to their face, like Shaq did. Shaq's a real one. Max, what's up, Max? Good to see y'all, man. I'm about to update you guys on the coaching search. We do have a couple of updates and rumors, man. Feel free to drop the like button and subscribe. You guys appreciate the channel, man. We going strong all summer long. You guys know it. Appreciate you, Iron. Yes, sir. My gamer tag is GOTLOVE, the number 4, and then you are girl. So got love for your girl, but it's spelled like that. So you'll see it during my stream if you follow on playback. As you see, the link is posted at the top, pinned to the top of the chat. So follow. I will be going live playing some Gears and some other games over there on playback. I just got the Game Pass so I could play along with some of you guys. If you guys follow all of that, we can stream together, all that good stuff. I want to make it a habit of doing it like at least when I'm free early morning or late at night, at least once a day if I can, right? I really want to grow both the channels. But the game streaming will be most likely on that one exclusively, most likely. What do you think about JJ Redick potentially being a Lakers coach? Okay, so today we got the news that Charles Lee officially, became the head coach of the Hornets, right? For those of you that don't know who Charles Lee is, he is the assistant for the Boston Celtics, the lead assistant. So the Hornets already got their guy, which means there's less candidates available for the Lakers. However, I do have an update for you guys. Here it is, all right? It says the Lakers have very few candidates. LeBron James doesn't get involved in coaching hires, right? Either LeBron's friendships tend to fall out as quickly as they start, per Brian Windhorst. And then we got another report saying this. It says, I'll get into the Byron Scott stuff. It says, league sources say the Lakers are holding internal meetings this week, all right, establish their hiring priorities, but have yet to start requesting permission to interview potential candidates who worked as assistant coaches elsewhere in the season, such as Golden State's Kenny Atkins. By the way, that's a hot name right there. Apparently, he almost got hired the last time around over Darvin Ham, and so he's probably going to be taken into consideration. So Kenny Atkins. Who else? Brandon Lee, who already went, like I said. Denver's David Adelman. I really don't want Denver's David Adelman, personally. None personal, but it's personal. And of course, the Lakers are apparently prioritizing experience. However, it's not going to be the end-all, be-all if they can't get their experienced coach. Apparently, that's what they're saying. So if they can't get their experienced coach, they might make an exception for one of these top assistant candidates, right? But apparently they're still waiting to see what happens with Tyronn Lue. By the way, I find it really intriguing that Tyronn Lue has not re-upped with the Clippers. Okay, they were talking extension. Maybe it's going to be a big extension. Maybe, right? Maybe it's going to be a huge extension. Just maybe. But he has not re-upped with the Clippers, which means there's still an open door for him potentially being bought out and becoming a Lakers head coach. Maybe there's already been some backdoor conversations, whatever the case may be. But yeah, there's that. Hey, what's up, SJS? What's up, brother? Peruvian guy, good to see you, man. Any comments, questions, concerns, man? We got it all. As far as the Lakers coaching candidates, I like Kenny Atkinson, but I think he'd be better off if we didn't have LeBron or AD on the roster. If he's coaching a young team, that is how he thrived under the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, that's how he did really good. Actually led them to the playoffs. A young Brooklyn Nets team that at the time had Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell, etc., etc. So my preference is still clearly Tyronn Lue. Sounds like a pipe dream right now. The murmurs and the chatter on JJ Redick are starting to spike up, which means he's a realistic possibility. Apparently, they're going to interview him, most likely, right? It says they haven't taken anything out of consideration. So they're going to take their time. Probably a lot of coaches are going to get interviewed, as they should. I wouldn't rush this Laker team at all. I wouldn't rush us one bit. We got to make the right move this time. Who cares if Charles Lee got already taken up by the Charlotte Hornets? The right coach that's right for us is going to prioritize us and not going to look at weak-ass teams like Charlotte. That means he wasn't for us because Charlotte has zero expectations. We need a coach that wants all the expectations and can do that, can take over. Hey, Justin, appreciate you, man. Miss you too, bro. Hey, I'll be here all summer long. Don't worry about it. But, yeah, look, man, we got the NBA draft lottery coming up on Sunday. I'm not sure if they're going to air it on playback, but if they don't, I'll still live stream my reaction to it here on this channel. I always do that. So it's going to be multicast for sure. Says, I think Trey Jones was slept on. He's an option in Washington. Not sure how his last year went. Yeah, Trey Jones was very solid as well. I agree. I agree. Have to build forward without LeBron, and things will not change. Now let's have that conversation really quick because you guys heard what Byron Scott said, right? Byron Scott, former Laker player himself, right, from 1983 to 1993. He gave a bold and unorthodox statement on TV, right? He believes that since LeBron James has so much input on the team strategy and decisions, he might as well control the game plan as well as the players, as well as being a player's coach. He said, and this is his quote. He said, "My recommendation for the next Lakers coach, and out of 8 of the 9 names that I've heard, so there's apparently 8 or 9 names in consideration. This is an ex-Laker, right? His name wasn't out there. He said, make LeBron James the head coach, make him the coach," Scott said on Undisputed. He said, "Listen, I got nothing but love and respect for LeBron. I love him, and I think he's one of the greatest players that ever played this game," right? That always comes right before the but, the real opinion. But it's obvious to me, at least, that he's making a lot of decisions that's going on in the organization from coaching standpoint to player standpoint. So if you're going to allow him to make those decisions, all right, he said, sit on the bench and make those decisions as well as be a head coach. So there you have it. Now, I've been telling you guys, it rubs me the wrong way as a Laker fan when we give so many decisions to LeBron James. I feel like at that point, we're just the clutches. This summer is going to show us if we're going to take the reins back or we're just going to ride this thing out until he retires, right? I prefer the first option. I'm not saying don't bring back LeBron. Bring him back at a team-friendly deal and make the right decisions for us moving forward, not just for next year, but for the years moving forward. Worst case scenario, we draft Bronny with a first-round pick. Wasted pick, if you ask me, instead of trading the pick or drafting somebody that's worthwhile. And then LeBron James takes the max money, and then he picks the coach, and then we trade all the future first-round picks, the first 3 picks that we have, the ones that we have up for trade, and then we end up not winning the championship. That, to me, is the worst-case scenario. Best-case scenario, the Lakers make a good hire, let's say Tyronn Lue, or maybe Kenny Atkinson. He might be the exception because he does have experience. We make a hire like that, and then we don't draft Bronny. We instead sign him as an undrafted player or super late second-round pick. LeBron takes a pay cut. We get the right role players, and we actually make a run and maybe even potentially win a title. That is best-case scenario. But right now, I feel like we're somewhere in between. I think this Laker front office does not know which direction they're going. I think they're going with the flow, and they're kind of taking it by word of mouth, right? They're listening to what LeBron has to say. They're listening to all these podcasts, all this stuff, all this talk that's happening right now, and they're going to make a decision based off of all of that, maybe. But I don't disagree with Byron. I like Byron. I think he's a good guy. He has great experience as a coach. He didn't work out for us as a Laker head coach. Unfortunately, the timeline was wrong. We were in a rebuild, and he's a win now type coach, right? For at least for that time. But I do believe that it's coming from somewhere. I feel like if Byron is saying it, maybe Jeannie feels the same way. Maybe Rob feels the same way. Maybe they're tired of the clutch experiment, and maybe we're going to see this whole thing implode this offseason. I doubt it. Highly unlikely. Again, we've talked about it on Around the League. LeBron sells tickets, which we already did, but jerseys, merch, extra money, right? We're talking about millions and millions of dollars involved here. They're probably going to bring him back at whatever price he requests, and they're probably going to draft his son. I just hope, like I said, we meet somewhere in the middle. I did notice the Lakers didn't make a trade at the trade deadline. Maybe there was more sellers than buyers. Maybe that's the reason. Or maybe the Lakers are actually putting down their foot, and they're saying, no, we are not going to get pushed around by clutch and all that stuff, right? Hey, Lil Dex, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much for Super Chat, man. First Super Chat of the offseason. I appreciate that. He said, MVP awards never meant a damn thing to me because they barely get it right. I agree with that. He said, the definition of the award doesn't make sense to those who choose to give it to a hefty amount of players have been robbed. Look, man, here's the problem I have with the MVP award. Here's the big problem I have with the MVP award. All right. When Kobe Bryant, the year he dropped 81 and he led Smush Parker and Kwame Brown to the playoffs, he was the baddest man on the planet at that time. That, to me, should be what the MVP stands for. Maybe we should change it for, baddest man on the planet, right? Maybe it should be BMP or something. Baddest man on the planet. Shouldn't be MVP because most valuable player. Jokic is not the most valuable player in Denver, in the whole league. I'm sorry. There's better players than him in the league. There just is, right? The most valuable player. If you take Shea Gilgeous-Alexander out of OKC, do you think they're the number 1 seed? No, not at all. You take Jokic out of Denver, they still probably end up in the top 8. Can you say the same thing about OKC? No. To me, that's the most valuable player. He elevated his team. Here's another candidate for MVP that wasn't really even considered, really. Jalen Brunson. You guys saw the game with us last night, right? First half, he gets hurt. They go down 10. Second half, he's back out there. They win. That is an MVP. A team loses their identity when you subtract the player from the lineup. To me, that is an MVP. I think Jalen Brunson had an MVP, more of an MVP-worthy season than the Joker. Joker really didn't do anything we didn't see last year from him or the year before that. For me, the players that elevated their game as a result, elevating their team to new heights, was the Knicks. They were a top 4 team for the first time in God knows when. The OKC Thunder, they were the first seed in the playoffs since God knows when, probably since Kevin Durant and Russ. Those are MVPs for me. Luka, you could have made a case that Luka was up there as well. But again, I wouldn't have gave it to Luka because, okay, you want to reward winning, right? Still Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So for me, I agree with you, bro. This MVP award has been stupid watered down, and they give it to whoever. It's a popularity contest at this point. They love Jokic. I've been telling you guys all playoffs long. They love Jokic, right? I wouldn't be shocked if the NBA gifted a game or two to Jokic. That way he survives a little bit longer in the playoffs just because they love him so much. But that team flops a lot. Gets away with his offhand. He hooks. They do all kinds of crazy things. And it's sad. It's sad to see that the rightful winners of the award weren't the winners, right? It sucks, man. But yeah, I mean, the Lakers, we get robbed all the time too. AD's a way better defender than Rudy Gobert. And this guy has 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Think about that. Rudy Gobert, who puts the fear in nobody. Role players have come in and cooked them. Shout out to my guy Stanley Johnson, who cooked them in the past. By the way, talking about Stanley, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I had a Q&A with him a couple of months ago where I was recruiting him to the Lakers heavy. And LeBron James recently gave him some love in his podcast, talking with JJ Redick. So maybe he'll find his way back to the Lakers, and that would be really cool. That would be really, really cool. But definitely check out that Q&A if you guys haven't checked it out. It's pinned on my main screen on the channel, on the DTLF channel. All right, I'll take a couple questions. He said the Timberwolves have a great coaching staff, and I would definitely look at them to see who the Lakers can get on the team. We're talking about the coaching staff, right? Not the players. Yeah, I agree, man. Listen, assistant coaches, there's a handful. There's a handful of those good assistant coaches that are probably going to be up for consideration for the Lakers, which I don't mind, but they have to make the right decision. Because you get the wrong one again, like Darvin, you get set back again. You get set back. That's no bueno, right? But you have these are the coaches that I've heard that are under consideration. So you got Ty Lue, which is my personal favorite. Experience, gets the most out of his players, and has familiarity with LeBron. Mutual respect there. David Alderman from the Nuggets, he's their lead assistant. So watch out for him. I don't know why we want to copy the Nuggets. They're not the best team in the league anymore. They won last year in the championship. That's good, but one-hit wonders. All right. Micah Nori from the Wolves. That's their lead assistant. Now, that guy's interesting because I really like the size and the way they use everything they have over there in Minnesota. They have a 3 big man rotation led by Rudy Gobert, Carl Towns, and they got Naz Reid coming off the bench. That's exactly the type of big man rotation that I dream of with the Lakers. That's the one that won us the championship. We had a 3 big man rotation with JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, and AD. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then you have Kenny Atkinson, who's the Warriors' lead assistant, and who also has some head coaching experience. I can see them hiring him as well because he has that head coaching experience, and he's a part of the Warriors, which I would hate because more small ball would piss me off, man. We know that the Warriors are just infamous for their small ball, and it hasn't worked for them either the last couple of years. So, yeah, no, you have to have the right personnel for that shit to work, and it's like lightning in a bottle. You only capture it once or twice. And then JJ Redick, the biggest question mark from all these head coaches right now. He for sure is the biggest question mark because, okay, he has a great podcast. Salute to you, man. But so do I. I have a great podcast. Does that qualify me for head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers? No. And I get what you're saying. Yeah, Dan, but JJ Redick played. So has, thousands of other players. Does that qualify them to be a head coach of the league? I don't know. We'll have to see, right? Like JJ Redick is a big question mark. He's like the Riddler out here, man. And we just don't know. And of course, Charles Lee, the Celtics lead assistant, has already been hired just today, this morning, by the Charlotte Hornets. So those are the options I'm hearing. Now, can somebody come from left field, like a Mark Jackson, or can somebody else come from left field, like a Jeff Van Gundy, and pull up and retrieve the job? Sure, I would think so. But is it likely to happen? Most likely not. So really focus on those 5 to 6 names I just put out. Who do you guys like, Lakers Nation? Who do you guys like, Laker family, from all of this, from all of these coaches? Now we can have the conversations. Obviously, we're in the off season, and we can really get into the depth of what these coaches have to offer. My guy Just Be Channel said, what's crazy is Gobert will actually go into the Hall of Fame because of the 3 BS Defensive Player of the Year awards. Shake my. You know what? I think they should change it, man. I honestly think they should change it. I think 50% of the vote should be the fans, and the other 50% should be the players. We might come out maybe 25% the fan and 75% the players. I think the players know better than anybody who to vote for, right? Because they're the ones that have to go up against these. Why not let the players control the majority vote instead of these analysts and these ESPN pundits and all these people? Because they have a lot of bias when it comes to it. A lot of people love the Joker. They love him. Let me tell you why they love the Joker. Because they look like him. They're unathletic. They love wearing those suits. Half of them are bald. And, they look like the Joker. So, obviously, they endear themselves to him. He's not very athletic. They can relate. He doesn't take basketball serious. They can relate. Ball isn't life to them. It's just a job to them. They can relate. So, clearly, they love this cat, man. Let's keep it $150. It's all about who they can relate to. We, the streets, we can't relate to Joker, man. How many horse racing lovers out here in the chat? Right? That's some rich people shit, man. I'm pretty sure, what's his face? Half of the ESPN analysts go to these horse tracks and probably put some money on a horse, right? So they can relate to the dude, I can't relate to him. Even if I could, I wouldn't vote for him because he's not the type of player that puts fear in the league. Like, honestly, he's a really good player. He manipulates the refs really well. He manipulates the offensive and defensive schemes really well. Defensively, I mean from the opposition. Like, teams have to load up on one side and figure out when they got a double team and all of that. But he's just not MVP material, man. Ain't no way that I look at Jokic and I think, oh, he's 3 times the player Kobe ever was because he got 3 MVPs compared to 1 for Kobe. I don't look at Jokic and say, oh, Jokic is better than Gasol, to be honest. I wouldn't even put him over Gasol like that. I put him hand in hand, slightly one way or the other. If Gasol played in this era, this soft-ass era where you can't touch anybody, probably be putting up MVP numbers as well. Let's be honest. It's easy. How many times did we not see an offensive player go off and drop 60 points, 70 points? God forbid 80 points. They don't deserve it today in today's age. But everything's at the free throw line or at the 3, right? Crazy. Advanced analytics, man, that's crazy, Kurt. It gets sickening at some point to see that there's so much favoritism in this league. And so, it's unfortunate, but hey, people love who they love, I guess, right? The hell no, the Nuggets aren't a playoff team without Joker. Yes, they are. They still got Jamal Murray. They still got Aaron Gordon. They still got Michael Porter Jr. They still got a good head coach. They're still good. They're a playoff team without Joker. Now, they might not be a top, 3 seed without him, but let's be honest. You remove Shea Gilgeous-Alexander from the Thunder, and what are they? Let's be honest. Who's worse? Who's worse? What do you guys think, chat? Who's worse if you remove the player from their team? The Thunder with Shea, who averaged 31 points a game and basically orchestrate their whole offense, or the Denver Nuggets with the Joker? He said, why have different refs rules for regular season and playoffs? It's always been like that, man. It's always been like that. Unfortunately, it's always like in the playoffs, they allow you to get away with more, unless you're the Lakers, of course. But the defenses that the Timberwolves have played has been elite. Shout out to the Knicks as well. You even got Reggie Miller crying, talking about they're allowed to get away with more. Reggie Miller, bro, we get it. You're an Indiana Pacer homer. We get it. But this is why nobody likes to listen to Reggie. He makes his biasness so apparent that it's disgusting, right? If you're a color commentator, you got to try to keep your bias to yourself. Unless you're that team's color commentator. Even then, Stu Lance keeps it real, man. Even then. Denver is not a bottom 3 if you remove Jokic. I disagree. You guys are really disrespecting everybody else on that roster. They got a lot of depth. They still have KCP, who's a champion. Michael Porter Jr., I'm talking about champion before they became champions. He had a lot of experience there. They got a lot of good depth, and they got a good head coach as well. Ain't no way that the Thunder are better than the Nuggets if you remove their lead players. No way. Completely disagree. But topic for another day. He said, honestly, we should have lost the last game at the end of the year and been the 6th seed and would have beaten the Thunder. Not really, Chicano, because we don't want fool's gold out here. This team with Darvin Ham was an absolute scam. And let's keep it $150, man. If they had a better coach, we probably beat the Nuggets. We were in every single one of those games -1. The one where they beat the brakes off of us at home, what was it, game 3? But outside of that one, we were in every single game. We could have won every single game, but we weren't properly coached. As you can see, the Timberwolves, they're executing. Every time they make a run, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves have had a counter for it, and their superstar has been a killer as well. So congratulations to Ant-Man. He looks like the official face of the league for now, right? He said, they're a play-in team at best, the Nuggets. I doubt it, man. You guys are giving Joker way too much credit. You guys buy it. So let me ask you this. For everybody saying that, do you guys think Joker is deservedly the MVP out of everybody else that's out there? You guys really think he has the biggest impact in the league out of everybody else who played this season? Because I don't. I want to know how many people believe Joker should be the MVP. He said Jimmy Butler is looking at the Lakers as one of his preferred destinations. That would be great. Question is, what do we have to give up to land him? Jimmy Butler is exactly the third piece that the Lakers could use. A two-way player who can wreak havoc on both ends of the floor, right? A two-way player to wreak havoc on both ends of the floor is exactly what the Lakers could use. Exactly. So Jimmy Butler, and now I do understand he's injury prone, he's older, but he kind of fits in with what we have, older injury prone players. AD, LeBron's getting older. I mean, you know what I mean? Now, is it going to be worth the money? Probably not, but what would you guys give up? I agree, Team Ambush, absolutely, bro. But look, we're not always going to agree. Some people are going to disagree. That's fine. If you had Joker as your MVP, congratulations. You guys got it. Personally, me, I don't think he's anywhere near the MVP. I would have put 2 to 3 players above him, starting with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And then I'm actually, like I said, if y'all haven't been paying attention to Jalen Brunson, I've been telling you, the Knicks are real this season, man. They're legit. They're one of my dark horse. Actually, my 2 dark horse in these playoffs might come out and be in the finals. And I predicted this on Around the League. I said 2 of my dark horses, the Knicks out east. If they can get past Boston, they're probably going to go all the way. If they can get and then the Timberwolves, man. The Timberwolves are, they are obviously, for me, are the favorites now to come out of the West. They just are. They have everything as long as they stay healthy. Now, anything could change, but as long as they stay healthy, I think Minnesota is definitely going to be my favorite to come out the West. Which those were my 2 dark horse teams on Around the League. Like, watch out for those 2 teams. People are sleeping on them, but they both have paid their dues and have lost a lot of first and second rounds in the playoffs, and now they're ready. They're primed and ready. They learned from it. They got better, and all that good stuff. Bruce, come in if you're coming in. We're not staying. Alan said, hey, Dan, congrats to Real Madrid. They cheated the game of football. Yeah, man, I'm very casual when it comes to soccer, unless it's international teams. Like, I watch Mexico and Team USA and Brazil play. Those are like probably the top 3 teams I watch play. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Miguel, that's what I'm saying. I have 2 to 3 people ahead of the Joker for sure. Now, let me ask you guys this. I like this list right here that my guy Miguel made. I think I agree with it. I think this is exactly how I had it. What's your guys' coaching list? That's what I want to know. Chat, log in your coaching list 1 through 3. All right. I already mentioned a couple of the names. If you guys need me to repeat them, you have David Adelman, the Nuggets lead assistant. You have Tyronn Lue. You got Micah Nori, the Wolves lead assistant. You got JJ Redick. You got Kenny Atkinson, the Warriors lead assistant. Those are like the 5 that just pop off to me that one of those is probably going to end up having a job. I just feel it. What's your top 3 list? And if you can answer why, that'd be great. I'd love to read a couple of these comments, letting me know why. Because you know what? This coaching change might actually dictate in which direction this franchise goes. People don't understand that. Coaching is still big. Yes, it is a players' league. Coaching still matters, and you see it a lot in the playoffs. You see it a lot in the playoffs with the way that Thibs has been making it do. Listen, Thibs is a great coach. I love those type of coaches. Yeah, sometimes they run their players into the ground and all of that, but they get the most out of the players. You see what Josh Hart is doing under Thibs. You see what Cole Aldridge is doing under Thibs. You see, obviously, Jalen Brunson is an MVP candidate under Thibs. Dante DiVincenzo has been amazing. So those are the type of coaches that they get role players and they turn them into stars within their own role. And I love those type of coaches. What coach screams that style to you guys? I see Atkinson, Nori, and Adelman. Okay, not bad. So Atkinson's your first, right? I want you guys to put numbers on them so I can know. And I'm going to assume that you're going in order from first to third. So let's see. My guy approving guy said Tyronn Lue. Okay, that's mine. Mark Jackson, that's also mine. And Phil Jackson. Now, Phil Jackson, I love him. He's the GOAT of coaches. But he's never going to coach again in this league, man. He got no hips. No hips, man. Hip replacement surgery. He can't even sit for more than 30 minutes unless it's a rocking chair. Like, my guy is done. My guy is that there's no way in heck he can coach. They tried to get him to coach over there for the New York Knicks, where he was actually the president of basketball operations, and he didn't even want to coach for that. So don't think he'll ever come back, especially without the same power. Lou, Micah, Atkinson, all experienced and working with winning teams. Okay, I can't be mad at that. I've noticed how none of you guys have put JJ Redick. So I think it's unanimously known that nobody here wants JJ Redick, the podcaster. If anything, are you guys turned off by the fact that he does podcasting with LeBron? Doesn't it seem like he's calling in a favor? That's what it seems like to me. I don't know. There's something about him podcasting that just makes me say, no, don't want him. He already gave up too many secrets. Mark Jackson, I like that. Ty Lue, I like that. Thibodeau's not going anywhere, man. You see the way he's got the Knicks rocking and rolling. He ain't going nowhere. But, yeah, I'm glad you know, Chicano. Yes, sir. Let's see. I'd rather have Dan as the coach than JJ Redick. I appreciate that, man. I don't know if to take that as an insult or a compliment, though. Usually when people say I'd rather, it means you're kind of setting me low. But I'll take it as a compliment just because I'm not head coaching material. So I appreciate that. Thibs will wear the team out if they go to the finals. Too many minutes for the starters. Well, it depends, Craig, because you know what? What he's done with this roster right now, I mean, he might have them tip-top shape. They might be ready to run circles around whoever gets to the finals. Or you're right. Maybe they run out of gas right at the finals. So we'll see. But I'm rooting for the Knicks, obviously, to win it all. Now that, I don't have a horse in the race. My Lakers aren't in it. It's easy for me to root for the Knicks. But if they get there with the Timberwolves, may the best team win. Because I really like Ant. He's really won us over, man. He's been an absolute pleasure to watch. Although I like a lot more guys on New York than I like in Minnesota. Ant is basically the one I like in Minnesota, and Naz Reid. Those are like my top 2 favorite players from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Don't like Cat. I don't like Rudy Gobert. I don't like too many players on there. But I do like their coach, and I definitely like those 2 players I mentioned. But the Knicks, I like everybody on the Knicks. There's not one player I don't like. They got a couple of ex-Lakers. Shout out Julius. Shout out Josh Hart. So definitely rooting for them. They're still my favorite, man, that from the teams that are left. And everybody knew the Knicks been my second favorite team forever. Is it Mark made Draymond such a star in his role that we accidentally labeled Draymond a star? Some people say that Mark actually stunted Draymond's growth. I'm like, what growth? This man's been the same backpack wearing motherfucker since he came in the league, man. Just out here, kicking balls and taking names. That's what he does. But he's a good defensive player. I'll give him that. He gets away with a lot, just like Dylan Brooks. But hey, if you can get away with it, why wouldn't you do it, right? Dan, my cousin, a Laker fan, thinks the CEI is taking it. What are we talking about, brother? What do you mean by CEIs? Oh, the Celtics. This is the way you wrote it, bro. That shit threw me off. I thought it was an I. It's an L. I hope not. I hope now. The Celtics been the favorites to come out of the East, so I don't think that's any surprise. A lot of people have the Celtics up there. They got the most star power left in the playoffs, I believe. They're stacked, but Porzingis is hurt. Porzingis is hurt. Do not underestimate that. And they got to go up against the Knicks. The Knicks are going to make them work for every single win. I think the Knicks take it in 7. They beat them in the regular season series, and I think the Knicks are poised this year. I mean, Jalen Brunson is the absolute stud. He might be the best available player left in the playoffs, and that's saying a lot because last year we would have said it was Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Nah, bro, it's Jalen Brunson. This dude's been dropping 40s on a daily in the playoffs. He's having a historical run. He's already passed Carmelo Anthony for most points in the playoffs as a Knick in one season. That is impressive, man. And he's just getting started. They're up 2-0 right now, by the way. Let's see what they're made of. If they can go into Indiana, where it's really tough to win, and they can get 1 or 2 wins there, I'd be thoroughly impressed. And then they would have time off, hopefully, as long as the Cavs can win a game or 2 versus the Celtics, which I think they can. My guy said, how do you fill out the roster if Bron signs an extension and the Lakers sign a third? Max star, they would have the funds to get a solid big and a wing, correct? Look, man, here's the thing. We can't just outright sign a third max star, brother. We would have to trade for it, right? Guys like Rui and Austin Reeves would be dangled, unfortunately. So you can't just, if you could just sign a third max star, I'd be excited because then you keep all the depth and you just add the star. It doesn't work that way. There's cap space. You can't just sign a third star. We're already capped out right now, as we are. What you could do, though, if D'Lo wants to sign and trade, maybe that can work. And then you throw in a couple other pieces and draft pick here and there. Now, the only way we have the funds to get a solid big and wing, I believe, is if D'Lo opts out and LeBron takes a pay cut. Those 2 things are not likely to happen. Now, D'Lo most likely will opt out and become a free agent and leave elsewhere, most likely. He may choose to get paid here and then sign and trade if they agree with a team, but I doubt that. Right? I really doubt that. But as far as wings and bigs, man, here's what I'm hoping for. And for him to take the mid-level, the mini mid-level, if we even have that available. I'm not sure. I'd have to look over the cap. But Steven Adams, right? He might still be under a contract, but if he's not, or if they buy him out due to the injury, I would love to have him. Most likely they'll hold on to him. Another one, Jonas Valanciunas would be great. But again, we're going to get into those as we start seeing and understanding the cap and the cap smoothing over the offseason. So it'll be interesting again. But a lot of decisions are hinging on this. LeBron's decision, D'Angelo Russell's decision, all of that matters. Who we hire as a coach is going to matter as well, because depending on what coach we get, we're going to know what type of free agents we're going to go after. So if we get Kenny Atkinson, he loves his guards. Don't be surprised if we go after the Lonnie Walker types, right? Which I'm cool with, but I prefer like Malik Monk or somewhere like that if he's even available. If we get, somebody like the assistant for the Timberwolves, then we'll definitely be looking for a solid backup big, or maybe somebody start alongside AD. So again, we got a lot to break down this summer because it can go any direction, man. Right now, we're sitting ducks right now, just waiting and speculating and just circulating on the rumors. But I'm giving you guys legit intel from the stuff that's coming out on those assistants. Those 5 assistants I mentioned, plus JJ Redick, seem to be the ones under consideration. If everything seems like it's at a halt, it's because the Lakers are probably waiting to see what Tyronn Lue's going to do, what the Clippers are going to do with Tyronn Lue. Mad Greek, appreciate the super chat, brother. Thank you, man. He said, why is Mark Jackson great for us? Never got to the conference finals, has the same playoff wins as Darvin and the same time span, and lost to the Clippers in the first round with the Sterling scandal. Let me tell you why, Mad Greek. First and foremost, every time he talks, you can tell he just has high basketball IQ. That's number one. You can tell he knows what he's talking about. Every adjustment he talked about Darvin should make, the same one the fans and basically the rest of the world was talking about. Calling timeouts in a timely fashion. He said bring in AD to start the fourth quarter and they wouldn't have lost that game. I agree. AD was going off that game. It was game 2. He talked about all the fundamentals of coaching. But I've been high on Mark Jackson for years simply because he doesn't get the credit he deserves for the Warriors, right? The Warriors win the championship the next year, even with Mark Jackson. It was more of a political thing than him. Because of Mark Jackson, they traded Monte Ellis and were able to, to give Steph Curry the opportunity he needed to flourish. Shout out to Mark Jackson. Because of Mark Jackson, they drafted Draymond Green. Shout out to Mark Jackson and Klay Thompson, who, by the way, Mark Jackson, if you go back and watch the interviews, he saw the vision of these guys. He said they're going to be the best shooting backcourt in the history of the NBA. Mark Jackson is no dummy like mainstream makes him out to be. He's a real head coach, and he holds players accountable. He's very old school. Also, if you hear the way that these superstars, guys, even like Curry, LeBron, all these guys gush about Mark, you could tell that he would actually command respect of the locker room, at least initially. We never know which way it can go with a major star like LeBron. It could go south quick, but he would initially come in with all the respect, all the cachet, and they would buy in initially. Now, if he can sustain that, you guys know winning cures everything. So if he can sustain that, then he will be a great head coach for the Lakers. Yes, I agree, Lil Dex. Mark Jackson will not stop feeding the hot hand. Mark Jackson is an intelligent head coach, man. He's a point guard. He's an ex-point guard for the Knicks. These point guards are very cerebral, right? And same thing with guards. This is why JJ Redick is a big question mark to me. There's a chance he could be great at calling plays, play calling and all that. My biggest question is, can he command the locker room? And you're already starting off on the wrong foot by being pals with LeBron, because a player of LeBron's magnitude will not respect the pal. He'll step all over him. He just will. Too much of an alpha. You need somebody who's coming in with a clean slate and isn't looking to be pals with anybody. And is just saying, hey, LeBron, you know what I'm saying? You can get all the shots you want, but you're going to have to try a little more on the defensive end. Hey, LeBron, I know you're 40 years old, but can you give us 40% more effort, please? Like, you're going to need somebody. And I think LeBron will respect somebody like a Greg Popovich. I think LeBron will respect somebody. We already saw what he could do with Spoelstra, right? One of the best coaches in this game. So I think LeBron would actually respect that. Same thing with Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue's another coach that commanded respect from LeBron James, and he got it. And as a result, LeBron gushing over him at all times, always talking highly of him, sometimes even taking jabs at his own coach while praising Tyronn Lue. So we know for a fact Tyronn Lue can get the job done. This is why the Lakers are just sitting back. They want a surefire thing. They don't want to gamble. They don't want to go JJ Redick. But if they have to, they might have to, and they might actually do it. JJ's not a top 3 candidate for me, though. Top 5, I'll put him at number 5 for sure. Top candidates for me, I'll give you guys my list. Since you guys gave me your list, I'll give you guys my list for sure. All right. Number 1, Tyronn Lue. Number 1 for sure. Number 2, Micah Nori, the Wolves lead assistant. Again, the reason I'm so infatuated with him and his coaching style is that he uses, or based on what I've seen from the clips, they know what they have to do as far as, forcing Jokic to do one thing or the other. Don't give him both. I mean, that was common sense. I was saying it all series long when we were playing them, but they actually showed a clip of him saying this. Also, he comes from the coaching tree of somebody who uses 3 big man rotations. I think they would stay with it, with what works. I don't foresee him coming to the Lakers and all of a sudden going small ball if that's not what was working over there in Minnesota. So for me, he's as close to a surefire bet as possible as far as an assistant goes. So Tyronn Lue 1 for me. Micah Nori 2. I would say Kenny Atkinson only if we were to go a younger route. Other than that, I like Charles Lee, the Celtics lead assistant, more than Kenny Atkinson. But by default, man, based on who's on this list, I'll put Kenny Atkinson at 3. At 4, I'll give you the Nuggets lead assistant. They also know how to use their size over there, but I'm not really rooting for him. And then at 5, I'll put JJ Redick. That's my top 5 list from the names that I'm hearing right now. Now, obviously, we already talked about, all season long, the pipe dream coaches, Mark Jackson, guys like Jeff Van Gundy. I'd love to have those guys. Very hard-nosed. They hold people accountable, like I've been saying. And so for those reasons, that's who I like. Dwayne Casey would be solid. I'm on the fence about Dwayne Casey. I'm on the fence. Yeah, I know Charles Lee went to Charlotte. Yeah, I know. Yes, sir. Lou not coming. We don't know that, Sean. Until he signs an extension on the dotted line with the Clippers, anything's possible. I'm not gonna hold my breath for it. It's not likely, but I'm not gonna go as far as to say Lou's not coming for sure, right? Because we've seen miracles happen here. Let's get Micah Nori. Yeah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite lead assistant for sure. Again, you see what they're doing with the Timberwolves, and he's a big part of the reason for it, right? Big part of the reason for it. David, we talked about the new rumors earlier in this video, so you can make sure to rewind. But basically, LeBron's not getting involved in the coaching search, according to him. That's the latest rumor. I don't buy it one bit. LeBron's involved in everything. He just is. We saw before Darvin Ham got fired, his son post something on Instagram with Darvin Ham with his hands in his pockets. Definitely, you got to know that that kind of pressure comes from LeBron. It's strategic. Hey, son, why don't you post this kid first? It would be funny if you post this. Trust me, man. He's got his hands everywhere. That's LeBron for you. Wendell Carter Jr., I'm hearing a lot of Orlando Magic and D'Lo rumors. Maybe sign and trade D'Lo in Orlando, and we get Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter Jr. Now that right there, the vision, you're living up to your name because that's a great trade right there. Matter of fact, I try to get Jalen Suggs over Cole Anthony just because he plays better defense. Y'all been paying attention to this man? He gave me some Josh Hart energy. So I'm even though I like Cole Anthony, he's more of a bucket. But I think Jalen Suggs for defense, man. We need a guard that can get after it. But I like your trade idea, man. I definitely do. Something like that would take us a long way. Wendell Carter Jr. is no slouch, man. He's very solid. He's very, very solid at the big man position. I want a tough coaches that have a system and a style of play we could buy into. Yeah, they need to have an identity for sure. The players see that these coaches know what they're doing. They're going to buy in. They're going to buy in. Can we get Paolo Banchero? Not at all. Paolo Banchero is probably going to be a Magic till the day he dies, unless there's some sort of a disagreement and he leaves. But it's really hard for free agents to leave with the new incentives, the new CBA, and all the money they're getting. It's hard, man. I mean, and I don't blame them. If you were getting, $250 million extensions, would you leave anywhere? Would you leave for like 175 elsewhere? Would you leave about 75 mil on the table? You see, that's the difference. When a team drafts you, they have your bird rights. They can pay you max money, especially when you put in big numbers. Paolo Banchero, man, what is he, 21, 22? And he's already putting up big numbers in the playoffs, man, leading his team. He's not going nowhere. What would it take to get Jaden McDaniels? I mean, we drafted him, but then he was included in the package. Two-way wings like that, man, do not grow on trees. We're blessed and lucky to have Vando. Unfortunately, Vando couldn't make a big impact on this season due to the fact of injuries, but hopefully he comes back fully healthy next year. Vando could be our wing, man. He could be our guy. When I saw the way Jaden McDaniels was locking up Jamal Murray, I shed a thug tear, man, thinking, damn, that could have been Vando for the Lakers. That could have been us. That really could have, but it wasn't, unfortunately. So that's that. Would you want Brandon Ingram back? Yes, I'd take him. He never really lived up to his hype, but I do believe opportunity would be great, especially once LeBron retires. I think Brandon Ingram can flourish here with the Lakers. Bring back the ex-Lakers, man. We drafted so many good ones. It's all about usage, though. As you can see, Josh Hart, you know what I'm saying? He was good for the Lakers, but he's great for the Knicks. And he stopped by the Pelicans. They didn't know how to utilize him. Now look at him. He's a utility belt type player. Utility belt type, man. Hanson, I got you, my brother. Hey, I got you, man. You guys know I'm still covering games, both here and on playback. Got you guys with all the breaking news rumors. Check. We talked about the coaches on this video. If anything breaks, you guys know where to find me. So make sure you hit that post noti bell and subscribe if you already haven't. But most importantly, gaming is back this whole summer. And I'm going to try to do at least one video a day over on playback. So follow me over there. It is pinned to the top of the chat. And yeah, all you got to do is follow. It's free. Maybe some of you guys want to game with your boy, man. But it should be fun. We should have some fun. I'm going to go live at 3 over there, exclusively only on playback. And there's the link right there in the chat. I just posted it up again for those of you that don't want to scroll all the way up. But should be fun, man. We're going to play some retro games. We're going to play some Gears tonight. Maybe some 2K. Maybe rebuild the Lakers. Do some stuff like that. Should be fun, man. So, again, tap in. Got you guys with the off-season content all year round. And then, of course, the lottery is coming up. Looks like this Sunday. So, you guys know I always live react to the lottery here with you guys on the live stream. I might multicast, might not. I'm not sure they're going to have it on Playback TV. But if they do, man, even better. We can watch at the same time. So that'll be really, really cool. Yeah, the Wolves game tomorrow. I got you guys with the pregame, postgame, and the playback coverage. So make sure to tap in for that. But that's going to wrap it up for me here today. Again, it's not over. If you guys have any more questions, follow me on playback. We'll be talking basketball. We'll be talking video games, movies, all that good stuff, man. Tap in. playback TV free. All right. Appreciate you guys. I will see you guys as soon as anything breaks or there's anything worth talking about as far as rumors go. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Peace.